I was going to say hello to you, but my watch says it for me. Ah, hello, hello, hola, salut, hello, ciao, hello. I don't know why I said hello with an accent. And welcome back to my channel. Today I have another episode of Deadly Beauty for you, and today we're going to be talking all about acrylic nails. Now, I probably didn't pick the best time to do a video about acrylic nails because I currently have, and I swear I'm not swearing at you, I am swearing at you, I have one that is snapped and one that is not on, so I'm getting them done on Saturday. But I get a lot of questions about my nails, particularly their length and things that I can or cannot do, so I thought today we would have a chat about them. But before that, I want to tell you a bit about the history of acrylic nails. Now, as with a lot of beauty trends, a lot of people just think that they popped out from nowhere, but actually, historically, acrylic nails have quite the backstory. They are actually a fairly new invention. They were only invented in 1955. There had been other types of nail extension before that, but nothing that was actually able to be painted onto the nail and that would stay on for a decent amount of time. Now, the first ever acrylic nail was made in a roundabout turn of events. Fred Slack, a dentist in America, had been working in the world of plastic teeth. Yes, that is plastic teeth, which could be sculpted and shaped to fit a patient's mouth. The type of plastic that was used was a type of polythene, which could be used inside a mould to replace a missing tooth. One day, however, Fred was working in his surgery and he managed to snap his own fingernail, much like I did with this one here.
Oh no!
Fred found that his fingernail was too sore to continue with the surgery and had to stop. Afraid he may not be able to carry out his dexterous work without the use of his finger, he had to think quickly about how he could repair his nail and thought about the plastic teeth that he'd just been putting into a patient's mouth. Using a blob of the polythene, he formed himself a fake nail and then glued it to the nail bed and was able to carry out his surgery with no problems whatsoever. And the nail stayed firmly attached for quite some time afterwards. With his fake nail attached, the dentist marvelled at his handiwork and decided that this was an incredibly good invention and that he might have just caught on to something. He thought if the nail was helpful for him, it might just be helpful for others. And he didn't even think of the beauty implications that were to follow over the subsequent years. After refining his process, Fred and his brother took his plastic nail invention to market and found that actually, surprisingly, they were picked up by the beauty trade.
Woo! You was tight.
Instead of his intended idea, which would be to put it to market as a bit of a plaster for a broken nail. In the 50s, the trend for nails was long and almond-shaped, not like my spiky talons, which are referred to as claw nails. But the movie stars back in the day had a big effect on the nail market, and suddenly people realised that they can have extensions. Rita Hayworth, who was somewhat of a nail icon at the time, had a big influence on the shape of people's nails, because every girl wanted to have them exactly the same as hers. And for the first time, acrylic nails afforded nail biters and people with thin nails the ability to have long, luxurious, and the coveted almond shape that everybody wanted. And before long, acrylic nails were the next big trend. By the 1960s, the trend of long nails suddenly died out due to models like Twiggy. Everything in the 60s was more androgynous, and so therefore long nails weren't seen to be as desirable as they were back in the 50s. However, when the 70s rolled around, almond-shaped nails were back, and people wanted them long again. And by the 80s, nail varnishes were coming on leaps and bounds, and the colours were getting more and more interesting and brighter.
And if a nail color can still look great after all that, you know it can take on the rough and tumble world.
Before the 80s, there wasn't really that many people that knew how to do acrylic nails, but by the time the technology had become cheap enough, nail bars started slowly popping up here and there, and before long, they were littering the high streets. And dedicated salons that just catered for nails were now something that could commonly be found. And since the 80s, the development of nail art, some insane designs can be seen, ranging from everything from pierced nails through to snow globe nails, through to furry nails.
This is the height of fashion.
And some designs that haven't even still got names. If you've ever had fake nails yourself, especially acrylics, you'll know that there's a lot of art and care that goes into them. And if you have them, particularly at the length that I have them, you get a lot of questions about them too. So today I thought I would answer some of the most commonly asked questions about these little things. A standard response to this is exactly the same as you would do it. So my nails might be long, but they're not debilitating. Let's be sensible here. Yes, I can pick my nose without piercing my brain. Scratching my eye is fine because I can just do it with the tip, or I do it with my knuckle. And how do I type? With the tips of them, just like that. I'm sure you don't type with the flats of your fingers. I'm sure you type with the tips of your fingers. So I do exactly the same. I type with the tips of them. Are you ready for some ASMR? Does anybody else really hate ASMR? I can't, I find it really grotty. I don't like it at all. See, this is how I open cans. I do it with my finger. Other things that I struggle with include picking up coins off the floor. Doing up necklace clasps are quite difficult because I don't have the tips of my fingers to be able to dexterously open them. That was a long word for you for the afternoon, isn't it? Earring backs are a similar thing as well, so I have to just be super careful, or I ask my other half to help me. And then there is only one thing that I really can't do, and that is getting a card that has gone too far into a cash machine back out again, because I can't get the tips of my fingers in there to get the card out. I have real problems because I can't grip with the ends of my fingernails. If you've got the tips of your fingers, you can do that and pull it out, but you've got no grip, so you have to hope and pray that the card comes out okay, or you can ask the person that's behind you in the queue to take the card out for you. My favourite. So you can imagine where probably these questions come from, but mainly it's from the male variety. If you're a girl that has long nails that is watching this, I feel your pain because you get asked several stupid questions that are very inappropriate. For example, he's perfectly fine with it, funnily enough, because he doesn't like to reduce me down to what's on the end of my fingertips. Nor is he some kind of man-bot that doesn't quite understand what fingernails are, cannot compute, don't know what fingernails are. And also, nicely, he understands that it's my body and I can do whatever the hell I want with it.
He's a keeper. He's a keeper. Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Another wildly, hilariously inappropriate question that I have been asked before. In fact, I wasn't quite asked it to my face. This was asked to somebody who was sat next to me on the tube, who clocked my nails and then decided to ask his friend, I wonder how she puts a tampon in.
Thank you, next bitch.
Okay, so thank you for joining me for that video, which is a little bit different from normal. I know I say that on all of these types of videos, but it is. So thank you for sticking with me when it's not just scary true crime or history or anything that is a bit untoward and a bit macabre. I really appreciate you if you have subscribed already, and if you haven't, then I will appreciate you as well. So please click the subscribe button and also the bell notification icon, which is below too, because then that way you will be notified every time I upload a new video, because YouTube decides that it's not going to tell you when I've done that. Do give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, maybe without a nail or with a nail, it's up to you. And if you've got acrylic nails, then please let me know if you've ever been asked stupid questions about them. And I particularly want to hear your weird nail stories as well, so if you have any, then leave them below. If you don't, then I don't know, tell me what your favourite nail varnish colour is maybe. Thanks for joining me today, and I will see you guys next time.